Alright, like one more song. We're gonna hold on. What? I got a bong. You guys want to smoke? I got a bong. I loaded it. I'm gonna smoke real quick. Well, I gotta get in mood. I gotta get in character with Carl. I'm thinking we're watching videos now since the thing blew up. We'll finish BioShock eventually, or we won't, and we'll just switch to Stalker at some point. I don't know. Ooh. Unnecessary cat slander. It's funny though, right? Right. I find it funny. I'm not out of line, am I? To be making so many jokes about it. To me, it just seems like you're just such a pussy. Like, what, the fact that you would talk shit about someone and then not even like, I don't know, listen to their response or accept their response or talk to them or anything, pretend like you're too popular for them. It's really disgusting, right? Like, it's an outrageously disgusting behavior that should be made fun of and should be mocked. It's really pathetic stuff. They think they can just like shit on people that are smaller than them and there's no repercussions because they're bigger, right? That's what they believe. It's fucking deranged behavior. What's funny to me too is I got a person in their chat, the mirror person was like, I bet they won't even call in. Like, he's not the fucking coward sneaking around in people's chats, right? Like, pretending like Mrau is somehow the one that would take the call in. This motherfucker hides in people's chats, right? Like a fucking creep. Just sits there, observes, again like a creep. And what does he expect, man? They behave like stalkers and creeps. He actually thinks he has a right to try to control what people say about him. He can get fucked. Anybody can say whatever they want about Morale in my chat forever now. Thinks he can control people. He again, I know he's not might actually trying to take a swing at me too, right? In a video way, in a figurative way. Because he acts like he doesn't care, but he was also lying to me every single thing he said, right? He lied to me every single thing he said. So he definitely is planning some kind of revenge, I would think. Too, I bet. Right? Found another comment, Cowboy. Picking on Cowboy. Or there's evil afoot. Yeah, motherfucker, at you. Yeah, exactly. You're the evil. You fucking creep. He thinks he, like, controls the chatters. Like, they think that their community, like, they control it, right? That's fucking communist totalitarians for you, little shitheads. But they don't have any real power, right? So they can just get fucked. There's nothing they can do. From now on, the only way you're allowed to talk about Morale in my chat is slander. If you say nice things about him, that's not allowed. He thinks he can control my chat? Well, now my chat is a only shit-talking Morale zone. How about that? How about that, dickhead? Now people can only talk smack about Morale. Did they say anything nice? Don't get me started. Did he respond to you? Yeah, Rat Bounty did. You know what he did? So I sent him the video, right? You know what he says? I don't have. Oh, here, let's try. So I don't have time right now. You see, my name is. What's the M? 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 Marshall. Okay. You see. My name, turn the music down, but is Marshall Reginald Oswald Worthington III. I'm far too busy to watch a stream segment. If you have a question that you would like to ask me, please ask. And I'm like, okay, you fucker. You gonna play dumb? Or I didn't say, yeah, hold on, back. So I go, okay, right? And then I tell him what happened, and I'm like, here's me, okay, that's me responding to what you said about, when you talked about me. And you know what he says? I didn't, when did I talk about you? He tries to play dumb. Like that's not just gonna give him away as a lying fucking retard to just say that. Like, the liars don't know that their lying is so obvious that everyone sees right through them. They don't know it. Somehow. They don't know it, so they try it anyway, right? I guess he didn't know I already seen the part of the VOD because it was unlisted or something, or he was just trying to play dumb like they do when they're trying to find the right lie to tell. Right? So he goes, when did I talk about you? When did I talk about you? And I'm like, don't play dumb. Don't even, you fucking fake little cat talking shit about people behind their back. Anyway, so that's what I tell him, right? Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. And of course he plays dumb. Immediately plays dumb as he can play, right? He's like, I don't know anything all of a sudden. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you see, I'm very busy. If you leave a message for my assistant, maybe she can draw a cat for me about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what you regular people do. I'm very busy. You see, I'm waiting for people to send me money online so I can get DoorDash. You see, it's very what a tard. Yeah, lied to me immediately, right? And then I said, well, stay the fuck out of my chat, you weird creep, paranoid loser, right? And he's like, okay, bro. Like, he tries to play like some kind of fucking Reddit retard, right? Okay, bro. He could not be more of like a stereotype loser I've ever seen, man. His behavior in private is like he thought he could lie to me still, right? And then at a certain point he's like, I just found it funny that they were gonna email about me. And then I didn't even tell him, because of course he didn't watch the segment, that part was really stupid, that he was upset, that he was surprised by that. Because everybody on Earth again knows, if they pay attention at all, that Belinda doesn't have accounts on things, and the reason Hick is emailing her is because that's the only way to DM her, not because it's such an important thing. But I didn't even tell him that. I didn't even let him know that we mocked him for that already. Because fuck him, right? Just let him keep giving us more stupid shit to make fun of. Because he's so pompous, he doesn't even know how stupid he looks. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. And then he asked me if it's a bit. And it's like, yeah, it's all a bit, retard. Yeah, duh. Duh, it's all a bit. We're entertaining people, retard. What do you think we're doing? Stupid ass cat. What is this, a bit? I don't know. What are you, retarded? Anyway, same answer. More Catman drama. It's unlimited Catman drama. Brad Band was asking to get filled in. I haven't. What he said, so I was repeating it. Too busy to make content for his fans. Yeah, I'm sure he has so many fans. He has people he needs to buy him DoorDash. Please buy me DoorDash. Please. I'll dress up like a cat for you if you just buy me DoorDash. Femboy plantation owner. There's a new twist on it. I didn't know he responded. That's funny. Yeah, right. He's like, I'm too busy for that. I'm too busy for that. That's why I talk shit about you behind your back, but you confront me on it. I'm too busy. What a dishonest fuck, man. And the thing is, like, again, people like that don't realize when they behave like that. Like, they think they're playing... Here's the thing. They think they're playing a social, like, game with you, and they're trying to win. They don't know you see right through them, and everything they're doing is just exposing who they are. They don't even know that, right? They think they're playing some kind of game and they can win. They don't know that you've already seen through them completely, and you don't. Now you just know you can't trust them, and they're dishonest fucks. All they're doing is showing how willing to manipulate they are, how Machiavellian they are. And the more you reveal that, the less people will ever trust you or value you in any way. Like, there's nothing to gain in the negotiate if there was a negotiation from my side, right? Because he's just a retarded cat thing. So there is no game to play. You know, there's nothing I want. So there's no game to play from his side. He can try to play a game, but it doesn't matter, right? Because, like, I don't give a shit. Now I just want to call him out for being a retarded fake phony. And make fun of him for that. There's no longer any, like, there's nothing between the two of us socially whatsoever. Because I have nothing to gain from him, right? Like, what would I get? A cat? I could ask somebody to draw me a cat. Like, what would I gain from interacting with him? Nothing. He's dumb and he's a liar. There's no value there. I want to see you live react to something of his. Well, I'm telling you, we're doing it Friday, bro. Friday night is JV Garfield. The Cat Who Knows Too Little. Cat Who Knows Too Little. That's Friday's episode. We will be reacting to his stuff then. There's a couple things I want to point out. I want to show how he doesn't understand Sam Hyde, because I think that's a good thing to point out, right? That shows if you understand Sam Hyde, that tells you a lot when somebody says they can't understand Sam Hyde, right? He doesn't get Sam Hyde. There was some girl he was saying was gonna get date raped, and he's like, please stay home. And I want to show you that. And then I also want to show the original confrontation between Spinal and Merc, now that we know how much of a baby this guy is, right? Who are we talking about? This cat guy that I was talking about earlier, the cat guy. Cat, he's a cat. Look, I have him in the trash. Hold on. He's right in the trash. Let me get Carl on the screen. He's right in the trash, bro. That guy. I put him in the trash. That guy. You see him? So it is raining hard and I am studying for class. So the VTuber guy. Don't call him a VTuber. He's not a VTuber. Sorry, I'm not mad. I'm not disagreeing with you, really. I'm just saying he's not a VTuber. I know the difference doesn't matter too much, but it kind of does, because he's not really going through that effort. He just had somebody draw him a cat one time, right? He had somebody draw him a cat one time, and that's his claim to fame is, you know, somebody drew him a cat one time. So, you gotta respect that. You gotta respect somebody drew him a cat one time. You gotta respect that. Or the pink to it, thank you. Sam Hyde, yeah. Noel tried to run a cancer campaign against Sam and failed. I don't know why you're telling me about that. I want to see, yeah, I didn't know he was fine. Yeah. Let's see, I'm happy to see you, Kim. I don't want to hear about that. I'm happy to see you, though, but I don't want to hear about that. No, not after the last thing, okay? I don't want to hear about it. I want to hear about your day. How you feeling? I'm sorry you're not feeling too good, but I don't want to talk about Noel. I know you don't like him, bro. I'm gonna have to like dig into everything you say and like try to figure out how true it is and all this kind of stuff. I don't want the hassle. I don't want the headache. There was that Grok stuff. You guys remember that? I found I saw, speaking of Noel, I saw him do that video on the Ricada thing, and I was thinking about reading the Ricada notes. What do you guys think about that? You want to read the Ricada notes? Ricada. You remember Ricada, the lawyer, how he got like in trouble? The body cam transcript. You want to read that? Or no? I was thinking about doing that. But yeah, just a heads up. Sure, it's fine. Yeah, the cat guy who gets 40 people watching. I don't know the people, I guess. I don't keep track of that. Something like it, right? You can check them on Social Blade or something. If you want it, like... I don't know his numbers. Yeah. He has 2,000 subs. It's not a very big channel. Also, I know for a fact I have a better live viewer to sub ratio than he does. So I don't know. I got a G. I gotta go. Okay, later, bro. Figure what happened with my YouTube. Yeah, that's fucked up, man. But anyways, I don't even know why he's acting like he's bigger than me when I have per capita a much higher viewer number, live viewer number, and I stream in the middle of the morning, so I shouldn't even have a high viewer number whatsoever. How about that? How about that? Per capita, I'm doing better than this stupid ass cat. Right? That's true. Only 400 followers. Yeah, Arcadis Saga is one of my major disappointments. He screwed up Vic's case. Yeah, right? I think that'd be interesting. Let's read that. Let's see which one of these links it is. Find the link that is the thing. I'm not sure where to get it. He says, he mentions the link at the start. Maybe, I guess it's not in the description. Super chat. Hold on, I'll figure this out one sec. I gotta find it. Let me just Google. You think it's available that way? Transcript released. I want to read the transcript. Check the start of the video, I guess, because oh, no, it's a YouTube. All I'm getting is freaking videos. I want to read it myself, bro. Okay, let's see. I guess I have to go to the start of the video and see. He mentioned when we get to that. He mentions where it is. I'll find.
About Rekida's house on the internet. Now.
We're just trying to find where he says it. Okay, relax, guys, relax.
Okay, I was told, I was instructed by Rekida that I am supposed to
be
today.
Well, Rekida, I don't know, bro. I did
the update, and as I said, I warned you. I would be getting right
like I said, I want to read. I've been wanting to see this for a while.
And then I'm bouncing. I'm busy boy. So.
You tell me where it is, bro.
Unbelievable.
Tell me where it is.
Unbelievable. And I am so glad that I sent people out to go take notes because I can't even comprehend.
At some point in this, he tells me where the notes are.
What is happening right now?
That's what I'm looking for.
And as a matter of fact, I mentioned.
I thought it was going to be a link in the thing, but I guess it's not a link. And I'm looking down there. I don't know.
Supposed to be 3 women that went to go see the body cam footage just in case. Because I was expecting nothing to happen until at least June. So they had scheduled it to go see it.
What's weird is how come you can't just like demand, like, isn't it supposed to be public information? Isn't the body cam supposed to be public information?
Today.
That doesn't really make sense, right?
And all 3 of them were going to go show up and take additional notes to complete the testimonies of both videos. And that did not happen because yesterday, the prosecutor in the case filed a motion to squash the body cam videos that were used as evidence prior. And 50 minutes after court opened today, the judge granted it, which removed the body cam video from evidence. And then
So, because it was removed for evidence, they didn't let him see it?
Clerk for the county sent emails to all 3 of the women saying, don't show up today. You're not going to go see it. So, in concert, the prosecutor, representing the interest of Rekida, submitted something to the judge, who within minutes of the court opening, closed it, and then instructed the county clerk to tell them not to come. So the body cam footage was cut off as it was
what is his avatar, bro?
Previously available to us. And I'm going to get into details and do a full recap. But that is the update: is that Rekieta
Well, bro, I don't even think justice happens anymore, man. Like expecting justice to happen to me is like like you kind of set yourself up to feel bad then. Like this war, I keep telling people, man, nobody believes me, and everyone's always surprised when bad stuff happens. We're already like in we're in this world that is run by confident people, right? We have a crisis of confidence. Complicated systems are going to fail. That means things like justice are not really going to hold that well all the time, right? And you can't be that surprised about it, man. Everything, like, I don't know, people that have faith that like the world is actually working as in like in a way that makes any sense at all, instead of just like corrupt people running the world everywhere. I don't understand. Your worldview makes no sense to me.
is going to be very smug because this
And
is
then like every single thing that goes bad is surprising. Everyone's like, "Whoa, how'd this happen? This is surprising." We're in a fucked world, man. You can't expect justice. You can't expect unless you're doing it, right? There is no justice in this world unless you're dishing it out.
happened. Um, but this is not the end of it. I have mentioned that I have two.
Now, that's not like give up, man. That's just like, just get over that. Stop thinking we're losing and get over that we lost. Like, if you're a normal person, an individualist, you get over we lost. We're in the post world now where we have to figure out how to rebuild, basically, you know? Like, that's where we are.
Attorneys.
We
who
already
have
lost. It's
volunteered
all over. The
out of
game's over. There's no game to play.
personal indignation at this point to
Now
help
just building or you know, daft or die
get
now.
the footage, and we will be suing Candy Ojai County to get the footage because, quite frankly,
Yeah,
what they're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
is
It's a hamster? Okay.
unconstitutional. As it turns out, there.
No, it is sad, man. I mean, I don't like, you know, I don't want any of this to be true. I would love, you know, I would love justice to be out there. I would love to believe in the institutions. I love that, man.
Constitutional right to know about the process of the judicial system, and the Supreme Court of the United States has upheld on several occasions that the public does in fact have a right to access things that were used as evidence, and the body cam videos were used as evidence.
So at some point in the start, I remember he says, "Here's where the transcript is. If you want it, go get it." Before he starts reading it, that's what I'm looking for.
So
I don't want
here's
to
the
miss
timeline
that.
of what has happened with
I
the
don't know where it
footage.
is, so.
Way back
Let's try to skip
so
closer.
Roddy, I have the first woman is transcribing her handwriting into digital format, so I'll release that third note as well. It is a little bit upsetting that we didn't get 3 as I had wanted, but the body cam footages, based off the notes of the first 2 women, are very similar, and they include the details that are most interesting anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and read through the notes, I guess. So if you want a little read along, I'm sorry that the stream was so delayed and so shitty, but it seems like it's stable now. So we're gonna go ahead and just read through it. And as I mentioned, if you don't want to listen to me, you do not have to, obviously. They are on the Kiwi Farms, and you can read them at your own leisure.
Oh, okay, they're on Kiwi Farms. Okay, there's poses somewhere on Kiwi Farms. Okay. Okay. Solving a cryptographic. You have to solve cryptographics to get to Kiwi Farms? Isn't that kind of crazy though that, like, to be fair to the guy though, isn't it not crazy that he had to learn how to like protect his site from DDoS because they flat out stopped carrying him? Like, I don't know, man. All done. Okay, let's switch to a different browser. It's working. Okay, and then I guess I'll search for Akeda. Nick Akeda. Okay. Is it? I think it's in this thread. I don't go on Kiwi Farms. I don't really know. I'm not really used to it. I guess go. You know, the last page and go backwards. Maybe watch the video and he said, maybe earlier he said where on people, you know, Thread call him IP2 material now. That's kind of funny. It's true. People post all kinds of stuff in here, I see. But there's all public information that I'm seeing. But they do post all kinds of stuff. It is all public stuff, though, that I've seen so far. But they are posting all kinds of stuff, yeah. Okay. Archive, try archive, ghost archive. This fucking long, damn, people mad at him too. You think people mad at him because they think he lies? I guess try, oops. I'll keep going, but let me change my search maybe, huh? Ricada and then what? Body cam? Body cam? Am I gonna type in his name right? Recover body cam footage. Bossman Jack? Holycon Defense Force? I don't know, I'm having trouble finding the fucking thing. There's multiple posts on him, it looks like. Oh no, these are posts from the thing, I see. Okay, what? Well, where is it on the Kiwi virus?
So this is the first PDF. This is.
Let's go back earlier, I guess. That's why I was.
Process.
I guess just
we don't
go.
know.
He'll say at some point, right? Navigate to
in the
it.
United States, the anybody who is talking to the police needs to be informed that they are supplying evidence that can and will be used against them in a court of law. So you have to tell them. The cops have to tell them that what you're saying to me isn't just casual conversation. I am taking notes against you. I am your adversary, and what you're telling me may, at some point in time, be repeated back to you in a court of law and used to hang you. So it's very important that any cop, anytime they talk to a suspect, they first stop and say, let me read you your rights. They read you the rights. And then if you continue to talk without waiting for your attorney, as many people do, simply because there's a sense of urgency and desperation.
Let's just keep going back to the pages while I listen to this.
Many people ignore their rights. April Imholt was a person who chose not to invoke her rights. And this is important because Ricada believed that she was not properly Mirandized. And she said that she was not properly Mirandized, which means that anything that they told her or told the police can't be used against her because she wasn't Mirandized. In particular, Ricada outright lied and told Officer Pomplin that April Imholt was not living at the house, that she was a guest. However, April Imholt told her officer, because they were separated and interviewed separately, told her officer, interviewing her, that she was living there for the full month and was looking for her own place to stay, but that she actually did live in the house. So this is a material thing, because if April lives at the house, her possessions, if anybody can find it for me, please do. Sort of mutual liability. If she's just a guest at the house and she brings things into the house that are criminal, then they can shift the blame on her, perhaps. But if it's his house, and I want to read the notes about what happened in his house for a while, it's much harder to do that. And Ricada is more
until the video is actually out there
for those things. So this is a big thing that they were arguing about. If only, chat, there was some way to figure out if April was Mirandized. Well, enter the body cam videos, which were used as evidence in the case to make the determination that April Imholt was properly Mirandized before she made statements that indicated she lived at the house. So the body cam footage was entered into evidence, and therefore it is public record.
Not worth. I got banned. I don't read it.
It was entered
okay, I just want to find this thing.
By Ricada's attorney, which is why Ricada at some point in time fired his attorney, I believe, because he was very unhappy with the fact that the attorney properly entered things into evidence that he did not want entered into evidence, because number one, it didn't help his case, and number two, it was the body cam footage and it was public record. Let me take it from the top. I don't know how many people are going to tune in anymore because I just fucked up everything possible, but I will take this from the top and
just tell me where it is, bro.
For the restream. So.
A body cam or what? Ricada?
Yes, So here's what happened.
The
Just
lawyer
some-
guy when
three
they
people
went
were
in
meant
there.
to go to the
But I've been
courthouse.
wondering what really was real about that. Like I liked Arcada back in the day, so I'm curious like what was real, what was fake, what was what. So and apparently a couple girls went and saw some of it, and they wrote transcript of what they
Today
saw.
to
And he says somewhere where it's posted, somewhere on Kiwi Farms, I guess, but I'm having trouble finding it.
finalize their notes. So we would have 3 notes from 3 different women for both videos. And because right now we have partial notes for one of the videos and complete notes on one of them. However, at the last second, literally the prosecutor filed something yesterday.
Yeah.
And in the first hour that the court was open, the judge suppressed the evidence, which was already entered into evidence. And the women received a prompt email minutes after it was filed saying that they
Hang
no
in there.
longer have
It's
access
okay.
to the footage.
It's
today. They
Arcada
proceeded
like
to court.
that. Hold on,
So,
like this. But don't worry,
to
just we'll find it in
clarify,
a second.
the body
think.
cam footage was entered
Why did
into evidence. and
error
was
try
entered into
again? I
evidence
wasn't
by
allowed to
Arcada
say it.
because Arcada was hoping
There it
to
goes.
prove that
Wasn't allowed the first time.
that April was not properly Mirandized, but she was properly Mirandized, and this was important because Arcada
He says in a second though
attempted to assert
where we can find
that
it, how to
April was
get
not
to,
a
how to
gue-
navigate to it. I
resident
remember.
of their home, but a guest, so that her possessions would not be his possessions, which could be the case if she was a resident of the home. April told the officer explicitly, and after being Mirandized, that she had been living there for a month and was therefore a resident of the home, and her possessions were possessions that
This
belonged
is
to the
kind of
household.
important, I guess, to know about the context though,
Um,
of the body cam
so it
footage.
is
I mean,
a
of the description of the footage.
Incredible move, and it happened extremely fast. So we will be suing the county of Candy, Ojai County to get the body cam footage because we have gone through a very rigorous process in order to obtain authorization to get it. And here's what we did. When we realized that the body cam footage had been entered into evidence by Arcada, we asked the judge for an order to, or we asked the sheriff to release it. The sheriff said he would not release it. Now, ordinarily, things like the body cam things entered into evidence could just be retrieved from the court. There's no issue retrieving any other document entered into court as public record. But the body cam footage features his children. Very brief. They're not there throughout the entire video, but they are there. So in order to release them into the public under Minnesota data law, they have to be censored. And it is the responsibility of the Candy, Ojai County Sheriff's Office to censor the depictions of minor persons in the evidence and to release it to us. The sheriff
Well, I said
no.
hold on. The actual footage, as of July 3rd, he said it should be released soon. The
Sheriff said he would
actual
not do that,
footage.
even though it
I'd
was
like to see the
released into
actual
evidence.
footage,
So we
definitely.
then petitioned the judge to make a declarative statement that the evidence, the body cam footage, was evidence, and therefore it was public record. We have received
That's
this.
interesting, huh?
Judge Wetzel, who is
Because I
also-
like I only kind of knew of him like peripherally, and I thought he would seem like a, I don't know, I didn't have an issue with him. I thought he was a decent dude doing lawyer stuff online or something. And he said some stuff I liked and yada yada, and then I don't know, I lost track of watching him, didn't really watch him, and then I heard about the crazy ass raid thing and like everything else about him being a drunk and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know what was true or what was what or. So I've always wanted to see the body
So
cam because
this-
that feels like the easiest way to find out, huh?
same judge as in the criminal case issued an administrative order clarifying that the body cam footage was public record and therefore it should be released. We sent the judge's court order to the sheriff asking that the body cam footage be released as he said it should be, and the sheriff said, I will not be complying with the court order, which is just an absurd statement.
The Fall
actually
Cato
was
is sad to
shocking
see, yeah.
us that Hardin had to reach out for several other opinions just to make sure he hadn't completely lost his
Yeah, man.
mind, and he wasn't witnessing the sheriff actually saying that he was not going to comply with a court order because of what the
It is weird,
so,
yeah.
After that happened, we considered suing. However, a law firm, a big law firm that Hardin knew, sent a letter to the sheriff and said, "What are you doing?" And after that, they got into contact. The sheriff actually knew this law firm, so they reached out and we decided to contact the Minnesota Department of Administration. And we did this for a specific
Okay, bro, we really gotta get to the point though. Someday.
statutorily. if the government of Minnesota is doing something wrong and you sue them, you can win attorney's fees if certain things are in your favor. However,
Okay.
if you contact the Minnesota Department of Administration and you get them to issue an opinion that you are in the right, and the government still ignores
I see.
itself and does not do what the opinion says to do, you are mandatorily awarded attorney's fees. Meaning there is no discretion for the judge to consider. He must, under state law, issue you your attorney's fees. So we went to the Minnesota Department of Administration, and we asked them to clarify if the sheriff was bound to his own court.
I'm gonna turn like 2-speed, bro.
The Department of Administration
I'm going
said,
crazy
yes,
here.
he should comply with this. We sent this letter to the sheriff, who said, "Okay, give me until June 2nd."
There we go. That's
so we decided
nice.
until June 2nd before suing.
There we go.
If he did not respond by June 2nd with the body cam footage or with a timeline that he would release it to us, we would be suing the Candiota County Sheriff because we were mandatorily awarded attorney's fees. So it's basically free to sue him. Today is May 30th, and on May 29th, so 4 days before he was going to issue his response to us, as he promised, the prosecutor in the case filed a motion with the court under Judge Wetzel, the same Wetzel as before, saying that he wanted this evidence suppressed because it wasn't technically entered into record, which is a false.
So since then, he's still been trying to get the body cam released, and it is going to be released soon, from what I understand. But for now, we'll read the notes if it tells you where they are.
It was used as evidence to make important decisions about if somebody was Mirandized or not, as a result of Rekieta's own filings. The judge, the next day, approximately an hour and 50 minutes ago, and an hour after court opened, less than an hour, 51 minutes after court opened, not only approved his motion, but entered it into the docket and got the county clerk to tell the women that were going to visit this morning that they should not come, which is a level of alacrity that you never see in any level of the judicial system, which means that the prosecutor personally walked this to the judge and said, "I need this signed right now because they're about to intervene." And it's much harder to undo something that has happened in court than it is to intervene immediately and to stop it from happening in the first place. So they did, and now we're going to have to sue anyways and undo the thing that already happened, which is a losing position, but theoretically, under the rules of law,
These threads are active, huh? Lots of people on Kiwi
but it is
Farms.
an incredible circumstance. It is unbelievable that this is actually what happened, and it's
Kiwi Farms is a popping place, huh?
So I would like to say that if you go to the Kiwi Farms right now, there's a post. I'm actually going to feature this on the front page right now since I have it working internet.
Okay, he has it featured on the front page right now. Okay, slow down. It won't be now though, because this is like a month later. Okay.
Let me remove this. And then
Now explain to me how to find it.
And so people can find it.
Okay, featured
so
it.
You can read along if you would like. I am going to go through
It's
the
still
notes,
featured
together.
No, I don't think so.
With you live on stream, but if you have no interest in listening to me talk, you can go ahead and read those notes right now by yourself. I don't judge you for it. If you are a streamer and you want to boot up the notes and read them, I should clarify that the notes on officer. So here's the issue, and here's why I'm a little bit peeved by this. Like, admittedly, I was shocked that the prosecutor filed this thing. I am actually irritated that it happened so quickly, because we had 3 volunteers to go do this. One of them is a busy woman who is a student and did not have the opportunity to come up immediately. And as a matter of fact, the woman who is the only woman that keeps the schedule for the entire county court, apparently, had a very busy schedule as well, and there were only certain days that people could come.
June 25th,
so they would have all gone the first week when we figured out that this happened, but the schedule was so tight that could not be arranged. So even the scheduling of the court were slanted in a way to give as much time as possible. But all 3 women were supposed to go. So we had woman A, who is an anonymous user. I know who she is, but she is just a mother. She has her own kids, and she's not a Kiwi Farms user, but she's aware of Rekieta because Rekieta was super famous, right? So she volunteered to go and received word that I was looking for somebody to go through word of mouth from other people. She went and she saw the entire body cam footage by Officer Pomplin, who was the one who interviewed Rekieta. And so her note is complete. The second woman who also attended the omnibus in Huron is Tiki Man 2 on the Kiwi Farms. She went, and because of severe technical difficulties at the courthouse, despite being there for several hours,
so this video,
only, I think 5
the stream was when?
She was only able to capture,
the video is posted in June,
of the hour,
but the video, the actual stream would have been earlier.
It was the second video cam footage.
I'm looking.
The first woman then went back to the courthouse and tried to watch Robbie's video. They also had severe technical difficulties and only got the first 45 minutes, I want to say, of the video. Actually, I think it was a little bit longer. I think she got an hour, and the other woman got like an hour and a half of the footage. So there is no complete description of Officer Robbie, which is unfortunate because I think there's a part where he's digging through a closet looking at toys and stuff from his perspective.
I'm going back through. I'm looking for Rekieta and notes.
All three of them were meant to go today and watch both videos over many, many hours and take complete notes and have all three of the footage, all three testimonies of both body cam footages. The alacrity of the court has eliminated that. So I do have the complete notes for Pomplin. I have 2 partial notes for Officer Robbie. I have the first woman is transcribing her handwriting into digital format, so I'll release that 3rd note as well. It is a little bit upsetting that we didn't get 3 as I had wanted, but
take a little time about it.
Based off the notes of the first 2 women are very similar, and they include the details that are most interesting anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and read through the notes, I guess. So if you want a little read along, I'm sorry that the stream was so delayed and so shitty, but it seems like it's stable now. So we're going to go ahead and just read through it. And as I mentioned, if you don't want to listen to me, you do not have to, obviously. They are on the Kiwi Farms, and you can read them at your own
what is this?
If so desired.
Pomplum by K. Wait, hold on. I have this, I think. I just found it. Bro, is that... okay, I have these. I found them. I just found them. Okay, nice, man. I just found them. I just finally figured out. I finally found it. Oh, yeah. I have the same thing he has in front of his screen right now, I have in front of me. Isn't that crazy, though, that I found it just as he finished? Isn't that cool? I think it's happy. Oh, you guys can't see he has it, but he has it right there. I have that, too. Okay, I found him. Jesus Christ, took forever. Okay. Let's put on some music to read this to. What would be cool? Dark Gothic adventure music. That's what this is gonna be. Okay, here we go. Alright, here we go, guys. This again. So these are different notes by the different women. I guess I have 2 sets of notes here. We'll go through both of them. 3rd woman was denied access. Okay, I don't know about the 3rd one. Audio note. There are sound issues throughout the footage. The volume was originally set to 100% and was so loud and distorted that most of the early dialogue was incomprehensible. It sounded like the speakers were blown. Even after turning it down to 8%, there were still problems hearing due to background noise, a barking dog, overlapping voices, radio chatter, and Pomplin's movement. Some of the dialogue is paraphrased to the best of my ability. Now, this is... the woman is just going by K. By K, we don't know her real name, it's just K. And this is Officer Pomplin that she's describing, I think. That it's his body cam. And then after that we have Robbie by TM2, which would be the other woman, I suppose. And Robbie was the other cop, right? So we have these two parts of the footage, and it's not all of it, just part of it. And we get a look at that, right? So let me turn the bot on. Here we go. Camera note. The video is from Officer Pomplin's body cam. He moves around a lot and rarely stays in one place for long. Go down a little bit. So the footage can be bumpy and hard to follow. That, combined with the noise and clutter, adds to the chaos. 9:15 to 9:33. Entry and early drug discovery. 9:15 a.m. The video begins with officers ramming the front door. As they enter, the first thing you see is a scared child. The house is extremely filthy. The floors are completely covered in clothes and junk. In some areas, there's no walkway at all. You actually have to walk on stuff to move through the space. Countertops are stacked with random items, and liquor bottles are everywhere. The filth and hoarding are immediate and overwhelming. The mess you see in Nick's kitchen when he shows it on stream is nothing compared to the rest of the house. That one space is clearly staged. It's obvious. He only cleans the visible area. specifically for streaming. 9:16 a.m. Kyla and April are being brought out of the house and led outside. A dog can be heard barking in the background. 9:17 a.m. Officers call to a child who is downstairs. The kids are being removed from the house while the search begins. One of the officers goes downstairs to retrieve the youngest child. She comes up holding the officer's hand. She speaks to him, but the audio is unclear due to background noise, so I couldn't make out what she said. As they head towards the door, she pauses to pick up the cat so she can take it outside with her. The search continues. A nitrous tank is visible in the house. 9:21 a.m. Nick can be heard outside yelling, "Get out of my house!" He says something about probable cause and a search warrant. He sounds indignant. 9:22 a.m. Officer Pumplin walks out to his squad car to get gloves. 9:23 a.m. As he returns, the camera catches all the kids sitting on the ground outside with Kyla. They are huddled against the house. The scene is heartbreaking. 9:24 a.m. Kyla is taken back inside and searched. 9:25 a.m. Officer Pumplin enters a bedroom where other officers are photographing drugs and paraphernalia found on top of a red mini fridge. The fridge is being used as a nightstand. 9:28 a.m. They begin photographing evidence inside Nick's streaming room. The room is far smaller than expected, and the condition is much worse than anything seen on stream. There are bottles of alcohol everywhere. The entire space is buried under hoarded junk, electronic collectibles, and random gear. His 5-monitor setup and other equipment are visible, but everything around it is chaotic. The curated background people see during streams is a total facade. They go through a bag full of brown glass bottles, each one wrapped in tissues. 9:33 a.m. An officer enters and informs them that cocaine was found in the bedroom where Kayla and April had come out of earlier. 9:33 to 10:01. Briefing, confrontation, and arrests. 9:33 a.m. Some of the officers meet up in the entryway and brief each other on the situation. One mentions that Nick is trying to ask them the questions instead of answering theirs. Another officer says they need to get statements, figure out who lives in the house, call family services. The audio is unclear due to background noise, so the dialogue here is paraphrased to the best of my ability. Officer Pumplin goes back into the master bedroom, where officers are still going through the red fridge being used as a nightstand. He then heads outside to talk to Nick for the first time, at least from what's visible on this camera angle. Pumplin tells Nick, "We want to ask you some questions, a quick interview. We want to get an idea of the layout of the house, where the nanny is at, and who all stays here." Nick immediately pushes back and asks, "What's your probable cause?" Pumplin replies, You have the search warrant." Nick stands there with his arms crossed. He's calm, but he looks like shit. He says, "Cool. You have no probable cause." Pumplin asks, "Are you willing to talk with me?" Nick responds, "Sure." Then immediately adds, "You still have no probable cause." Pumplin says, "I'm not discussing that. You've been given the search warrant. You know how this works." Nick again says something about probable cause. 9:38 a.m. Nick is read his Miranda rights. They begin questioning him about the children and other adults in the home. Pumplin confirms Kayla is his wife and then asks about the other woman. Nick gives April's name and says she's a friend. He says she does not reside there. Pumplin tells him she came out of the bedroom. Nick replies, "Okay, so she came out of the bedroom." Pomplin says, when I have people over, they don't go in my bedroom. Nick snaps. I don't give a shit what you do. Pomplin stays calm and says, I'm just asking questions. Nick tells him, you're not. You're making statements. Pomplin asks, where do you stay in the residence? Nick says, all over, it's my house. Pomplin asks, you stay in the master bedroom? Nick says, when I'm in there, I stay in there. Sure. Pomplin asks, is that where you sleep at night? Nick says, yes. Pomplin responds, that's all I need to know. He then asks, he then asks, do you want to tell me where things are in the house to help expedite the search? Nick says, where what things are? Pomplin replies, you saw the warrant. We're looking for controlled substances. Nick says, I'm not admitting anything. That's ridiculous. You have no problem. You still have no probable cause. Pomplin says, we're going to be searching the house. We're going to be contacting family services. Nick asks, why? Pomplin says, because we've already found cocaine in the house. Nick just stares at him. Pomplin adds, we're not here on a whim. Nick says, yes, you are. Pomplin says, no. Sorry, calm down. Pomplin's not mad, he's a cop. No, sorry. I gotta keep my character straight. No, we're not. Nick repeats, yes! Pomplin tells him, we came here looking for controlled substances. We were only in the house about 10 minutes and already found some. Nick responds, I don't know anything about it. Nick says something about family services and mentions the grandparents. Pomplin tells him that's most likely what will happen, but family services has to be involved. We'll put them with a family member if we can. 9:42 a.m. Peace. Nick and April are both handcuffed in the driveway, facing each other. It's almost cinematic. April is looking at him with a pouty face and puppy dog eyes. She's wearing black cutoff shorts and a black long-sleeve crop top. As Nick being walked to the squad car, he tells the officer, I hope you catch gonorrhea and die. Before putting him in the vehicle, they stop to photograph the sores on his arms. He has a lot of them. Nick asks, are you going to arrest my wife too? Pomplin tells him, yes. We're going to have her stay here and stay with the kids until family services and the grandparents get here. Nick is visibly seething. Pomplin says, I'll come and talk to you when we're done and at the jail. The audio is unclear due to background noise, so I couldn't make out Nick's response. Pomplin then walks away from Nick over to April. He introduces himself, explaining what's going to happen, tells her she's going to jail, and asks if she has any questions and whether she's been Mirandized. April says, no, but I want to ask. Pomplin interrupts to confirm she's been read her Miranda rights. She has. He begins asking her questions. Pomplin, how long have you been here? April, not that long. Maybe a month? I'm trying to find my own place. Pomplin says, so you've been living here? April says, yep. I stay in the sunroom a lot. I've known the family for quite a while. Pomplin, you came out of the bedroom with Kayla, right? Yes. Pomplin, you were hanging out in there? April, yes. Pomplin, what were you doing in there? That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, right? This whole situation is honestly kind of funny, right? Here we go. Keep going. April, Kayla was sleeping and I was changing clothes. Pomplin tells her that they're executing a narcotics search warrant. April shakes her head no, as if she's confused in disbelief or pretending not to understand. Another officer asks, you were changing clothes in there? April, yes. He follows up, you keep stuff in there? April, yes. At that point, another officer walks up holding 2 pairs of shoes. He puts one pair down on the ground. April looks at them and says, "Those aren't mine." The officer apologizes and says, "Sorry, there's a lot." April looks at the other pair in his hand and says, "Those are mine." He places them on the ground. They're slip-on sandals with straps. April tries to put them on while handcuffed as they continue to ask her questions. They ask where she sleeps when she's staying at the house. April says, "Sometimes I stay in the sunroom. There's a couch in there. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, so sometimes I sleep next to Kyla on the bed." She interrupts to ask for help putting on her sandals. The officer bends down and helps her get them on her feet. When he finishes, the audio becomes harder to understand. The audio isn't clear due to background noise, so the dialogue here is paraphrased to the best of my ability. One of the officers says something about the controlled substance search warrant and adds, "What do you think about that?" April shakes her head no again, clearly overwhelmed or confused. They tell her she's being charged with a 5th-degree felony, controlled substance offense. April reacts, "Oh my God." The officer says, "We'll go from there. Any questions for me?" April responds, "No, I wouldn't know what to ask. Like I said, this is..." She pauses. "Scary." Here we are. I gotta keep opening the pages individually. That's what, if you hear the mouse click, that's what it is. He tells her, "We'll meet up later and try to make it more clear for you," then places her in the squad car. 9:47 to 10:24. Kayla refuses to speak. Evidence logging. First safe opened. 9:47 a.m. A female cop holding a big gun says Kayla refuses to speak without her attorney present. Kayla and the kids are still sitting on the ground against the house behind the cop. Kayla is sitting with her head on her oldest daughter's shoulder. It's a heartbreaking scene. As Officer Pumplin is walking away, I hear the female cop say, "I'm going to try to get her some clothes." I'm unclear who he was referring to. As Officer Pumplin walks through the disgusting house, you can hear him let out a huge sigh as he looks at everything. He puts on some gloves. As he gets into the bedroom, he asks, "Are we still going through things in here?" I had a hard time understanding all the audio as the dog is barking loudly in the background. 9:48 a.m. The officer goes back to his car to get something. He drinks some Mountain Dew and gets some snuff. On his way back in, he passes Kayla and the kids again. He has interactions with another cop that I couldn't quite understand. Someone says something about the house being huge. 9:48 a.m. The officer goes back to his car to get something. Oops. Sorry, fuck. 9:49 a.m. Bro, I was doing... One second, I'm gonna take a sip of water now that I fucked up. Have I not been doing pretty good without stopping? Alright, hold on. I'm gonna take a sip of water, then we're back at it. Okay. Alright, here we go. Once I'm in, bro. I'm in the zone. 9:49 a.m. He heads back to his car again, looking for something. Couldn't see what it was. On his way back in, one of the other cops is talking to the kids. On his way back in, one of the others... I'm tripping over my breathing now. On his way back in, one of the other cops is talking to the kids, obviously trying to make them comfortable. After he gets inside, again the audio is hard to understand between background noises, radio chatter, and the dog barking. The dog is in the bathroom with a baby gate up. You can hear a conversation about drugs, firearms, and finding 22 casings. Officer Pumplin starts writing down a list of evidence found. Number 1, snort tube. Found on the nightstand fridge. Tested positive for cocaine. There are 4 cops searching the room. Officer Pumplin heads back to the squad car to retrieve evidence bags. Kayla is not sitting with the kids this time when he passes. "9:54 a.m. Officer Pumplin starts logging evidence again.
Stop it. Get some help.
Number 2. A glass vial that tested positive for cocaine from the nightstand. Cocainum. 2 credit cards with April's name on them. All this evidence from the top of the cuck fridge nightstand, which is covered in a bunch of miscellaneous junk, like a Celsius can, a couple of candles, a spray bottle of something, maybe lube. An unframed picture of Nick and Kayla laying on top of other junk. One of the officers picks up bottled pills and says, his paraphrase from memory, I wasn't able to hear what he said verbatim, something like, I found one of the kids' prescriptions right next to the cocaine. It has the name Celeste on it. The cops are mistaken. Celeste is Nick's mom. Is she giving him drugs or did he steal them? They look at 2 casino player cards with Nick and Kayla's name on them and take pictures of them. He turns to the other cop to see what they found. 9:56 a.m. The cop pulls a paper bag out of an armoire and starts taking the stuff out of it. It sounds like he said something about a meth pipe, and the other cop asks if they're used. He says this looks dirty unless it's brown glass. 9:57 a.m. You can hear a cop say something about 2 spent .22 shell casings on the floor. One of the other cops finds pipes and bongs. They think they're unused. The dog is barking incessantly. Officer Pomplin finally says, we've got to do something about that dog. 9:58 a.m. Officer Pumplin documents in his report the big gun was found under the bed. 10 a.m. Pumplin continues processing and logging the evidence. He's still in the bedroom where the red fridge nightstand is located. They're gonna messy? Yeah, for real, right? Yeah. There's movements and chatter as the officers go through items. It's a mix of searching, bagging, and documenting. The audio is difficult to make out clearly because of overlapping voices, barking, and background noise. One of the officers says they found edibles. Another holds up what looks like a grinder and says it contains a white powder. They say they're going to test it. 10:01 a.m. You can hear a child back in the house. 10:02 to 10:24. Second safe. Drugs inside. Family services update. 10:02 a.m. He's documenting more evidence. A metal container and 2 glass ones with powder. A female comes in asking about taking something to the jail for Kayla. One of the officers finds something under the bed. Officer Pumplin asks, what's that? It sounds like the other officer says something about a Supreme Court unclear word license. I couldn't make out the word. 10:04 a.m. He asked the other cops, did you see Nick's arms? Track marks all down. He says, be cognizant of the possibility of finding needles. Then says they could be sores. Paraphrase, couldn't hear well. They mentioned they passed Nick in his car on the way to the house. 10:05 a.m. Another cop comes in and says they're interviewing Mom right now. Pumplin says they're going to be a while. They discuss areas they want to search thoroughly. The master bedroom, 2 studios, and the inner and outer vault studio area. He calls the studio Nick's lair. They discuss what cops will be doing what and what to search. 10:06 a.m. Officer Pumplin says, we need to do our due diligence for the kids, doing all we can. They're waiting for the kids and the dog to be picked up. They're splitting the cops up, 3 upstairs and others in other areas. 10:07 a.m. They discuss April's purse, ID, etc. They left it because there was cash in it. Officer Pumplin leaves 3 cops searching the bedroom and he starts walking towards the front door. He says something about a lot of stuff being in the studio. You can say Kayla with what appears to be 2 family service workers at the front door. 10:08 a.m. Officer Pumplin goes downstairs. It looks like a family room with a fireplace, some arcade games, a drum set, and other stuff. And other kid stuff. This section is outside the area that leads to Nick's studio. As he goes into Nick's studio, he passes through a small library-type room with lots of books and random things on the bookshelves at 09 a.m. When he gets into the streaming room, someone mentions vials and something about homemade whiskey. Officer Pumplin opens a Ziploc bag and pulls out a small box that looks like it has a picture of food on it. It looks to me like you got out of the frozen... It looks to me like something you get out of the frozen food section. Then he pulls out different vials. One has a brown substance in it, and he says one of them has brine written on it. He says another one looks like it has whole pepper in it, and comments it's weird. He pulls out a bag of seeds. Again, they say something about possibly being for homemade whiskey, or something. I just got done with chapter 11 quiz, had some trouble, may need better study for my exam. But why are you going to school? 10:11 a.m. Officer Pumplin starts going through a pile of papers. He looks at a handwritten letter. I took notes on it because it was weird and confusing. It was about a father and a daughter and said things like, a dad admits selfishness and crisis, a dad getting all the shit but no praise, and the daughter practices her song just for dad. After Googling, I found out it's about a South Korean horror film called Train to Busan. Weird shit. Just documenting to be thorough. I've seen that movie. The next piece of paper is a letter from the country, the Department of Environmental Services. It's something about a building or shed or something. The next thing is a signed anime pic. That looks exactly like this. I don't know what. Next is an autographed picture of Eric Rowland. It's signed, here's looking at ya, Nikki. It has a lipstick lip print on it, like, it says P.S. Look here. With an arrow pointing to the button area of his shirt. I tried to do an AI version. This is the best I could do. Oh, there was AI examples in the original post, I guess. I couldn't get exactly right, especially the PS and the arrow. Next is a piece of unopened certified mail to Kayla with writing on the envelope. He then finds a cardboard box with question marks on it in marker. He opens it, and inside there's a ton of shredded paper. He rummages through it and finds something that he thinks might have been a big shroom. He asks the other cop, and the cop says no. Officer Pumplin smells it, puts it back. It wasn't visible on the camera for very long. 10:46 a.m. Another cop comes in. He has a safe that he found under the bathroom sink in the master bedroom. It's a briefcase type safe that's locked, but it has part of a baggie hanging out. They were able to test the part that was sticking out, and it tested positive for cocaine. The officer leaves to go look, asks for the key. He gets a quick phone call and then asks Kayla for the key. She's with the two family service workers. He tells her, we need the key or we're going to have to break it open. She says she doesn't know where it is. 10:41 a.m. They go outside. The kids are still sitting on the ground. The cops walk behind the vehicles and break open the safe with what looks like a pry bar and a mallet. The safe is full of drugs, paraphernalia, and baggies. They take a photo and say, let's get it to a better location. On their way back into the house, another officer mentions that the grandparents are on their way. They take the safe to a small bathroom, place it on the toilet, and open it. There's a baggie that says KKK on the outside. They surmise it's ketamine. There's a digital scale, snort tubes, a metal piece that looks like a crack pipe, and another metal item that looks like a spoon without a handle. He asks for another cop and says this is insane. His glove rips and he needs a new one. He says he thinks one is ketamine and the bites are either Molly or LSD. They start documenting the evidence. There's the baggie that was sticking out of the safe which tested positive for cocaine. There's also some cards and rolled up dollar bill. They find a large corner cut with white powder. There are Ziploc bags containing smaller bags. One of them has KKK written on it. Another Ziploc contains multiple small bags with powder. They find a digital scale. It's kind of wild though, isn't it, that hold on, where was I? Oh, oh wow, I still have a lot to go still. I'm on this one. A metal pen or container, 2 snort tubes, and 2 cutters. That's what else was in there. 1024 to 1048. Studio search, gun safe, Kayla's return. 1024. Yeah. Officer Pumplin goes back into the studio. The cop tells him they didn't search the stuff that's covered in dust since it obviously hasn't been touched recently. Going for nursing? Ah, okay. Gotcha. What's up, Parn? Nursing's a decent goal. I mean, a decent reason to go to school, sure. That's legit. Officer Pumplin goes back to the yeah, we did that. One of them says, we're reading, Parn, we're reading the body cam notes written by girls that saw, ladies that saw the Nick Rekieta body cam footage. That's what we're doing right now. So at 10:24 a.m. They found all these crazy drugs and stuff already. It's nuts. One of them says there's a lot of weird stuff down there, like a bunch of pencil shavings. Pumplin says this is his hangout. I can't hear what the other cop says, but Pumplin responds, because you can't do it with your girlfriend and wife, I guess. I don't know. 10:25 a.m. He's searching through the artwork that's leaning against the wall, including the cat painting. You can see a close-up of a lot of the stuff that's usually behind Nick when he's streaming. They find a container or a box of something and say, it looks like cornstarch inside. He starts going through all of Nick's collectibles, opening boxes and looking inside. He says, there aren't other safes? A family service worker asks about collecting electronics for the kids. He says they're going to Grandma's. 10:32 a.m. Officer Pumplin goes into a room where there are lots of clothing racks with clean clothes hanging up. Kyla's in there. The family service worker is gathering clothes for the kids. The officer asks about getting electronics for them. 10:33 a.m. Officer Pumplin goes to the garage. He finds out there's another safe and gets the equipment to break it open. Now, isn't it interesting? They say get electronics. Nobody mentions getting a book, right? Dumbass state workers. How about you get them a book, jackass? Sorry. 10:35 a.m. They open it. Inside, there are guns and ammo. He takes pictures of all the guns and the rest of the contents. One of the cops starts looking around at all the boxes and totes of stuff. He asks how long they've been living there. Officer Pumplin says, a while. The other cop says it looks like they have half unpacked boxes from moving or something. Pumplin says it might be April stuff. She said she's only been here for a month. 10:37 a.m. Someone walks through with the dog on a leash. 10:38 a.m. An officer comes in and says there's another safe in the master bedroom closet. Officer Pumplin asks him to bring it out to the garage. They bring it in and break it open. Inside there are Ziploc baggies, a rolled up $100 bill with white powder, rolling papers, a lot of THC cartridges, a scooper, and a small funnel. They're not sure what some of it is, but suspect fentanyl. They take pictures of it all. They leave the THC cartridges and don't put them into evidence. They say they'll test everything else at the station. Officer Pumplin starts documenting all the evidence in his report. Drugs, paraphernalia, guns, and ammo. He lists them all out, including the serial numbers and the guns. They discuss needing to do a basic sweep of the kids' room and other bathrooms. 10:47 a.m. Kyla's mom arrives to pick up the kids and the dog. Again, you see the kids during this interaction. 10:48 a.m. Kyla walks in shortly after, looking strung out. She's wearing a backless shirt, and you can see all of her back tattoos. 10:48 a.m. to end. Final sweep and personal reflections. 10:48 a.m. They come across a box with April's name on it. They open it and inspect the contents. They start going through the kitchen cabinets, focusing especially on the one with all the pills and medicines. 10:51 a.m. They think they found needles, but realize they're actually syringes without needles, the kind used for administering liquid medications. They do a final quick sweep of the rest of the house. 10:55 a.m. Officer Pumplin goes back in the master bedroom walk-in closet with another officer who debriefs him on where they found previous evidence, like the bullets in the other safe. The other cop in the back of the closet looking at a shelf saying there are all kinds of THC vapes and adult stuff. You can't see it from Pumplin's point of view, but it's clear these items are out in the open, easily visible and accessible to anyone who walks in, including the kids. 10:56 a.m. They announce that everyone else is gone, and they start collecting all their stuff. 10:58 a.m. One of them brings up the incident where Nick threw the warrant on the ground. By 11 a.m., they all leave. Additional personal observations. The house is a very weird layout. The location of the master bedroom is especially concerning. It is very close to the main communal areas, making it easy for kids to overhear things they shouldn't, like sex noises, arguments, and other adult conversations or activities. The messiest and most hoarded areas of the house are the ones that adults spend the most time in. The streaming setup is highly curated. What viewers see on camera is a complete illusion. Behind the scenes, it's filthy, cramped, and chaotic. Not all the drugs and paraphernalia were hidden. Some were left out in the open, in areas kids could easily access if they are the inquisitive type, including the master bedroom, bathroom, closet. It is heavy and honestly heartbreaking to witness the conditions of the kids and animals have been living in. The filth, the chaos, the presence of drugs and weapons create an environment no child or pet should be subjugated to. The dog lives confined to a bathroom. At least one cat was seen in the home. And the children, they were just caught in the middle of a search. They have been living in this every day. They were not just caught. You can feel the weight of that reality in almost every frame of the footage. Even basic things like clothing and mail were scattered randomly. Important documents were mixed in with fan art, trash, and drug gear. Nothing was organized. There was no sense of separation between adult items and areas where the kids lived and played. Finding Nick's mom prescription bottle alongside the cocaine and the paraphernalia raises bigger questions about his parents' role in all of this. Are they enabling it? Turning a blind eye? Actively involved? And at the very least, it points to a serious lack of boundaries. At worst, it suggests a generational pattern of dysfunction that these kids are sadly now caught up in. It's also worth noting that the behavior of the officers throughout the search. They're patient, respectful, and professional, from start to finish. Despite the overwhelming filth, drug presence, and emotional weight of the scene, they kept their personal commentary to a minimum. They didn't mock or escalate. In fact, given everything they encountered, it's notable how restrained they were. While the search could have been even more thorough, it would have taken significantly longer. They seem to focus on securing the most critical evidence while minimizing disruption to children who are present. All right, that's the end of number 1. The THC cards, pure evil, capital punishment. Well, they didn't even take those, right? Didn't even take those. Oh, I see. Also put it all in a spoiler. I can just read it that way. People are making like AI art and stuff of the things that happen. That's funny. I think all that stuff's gonna be really is all really funny. I think. All right, so we got another one here to read, which is a little shorter than that one. This one is Robbie. So the cop is named Robbie instead of Pon Pon. So we're seeing a different. We're going to see the different footage, right, from a different cop's body cam. And the notes are also written by a different person. They're written by TM. So, and I can just do this spoiler here instead of going page by page. Actually, page by page, I don't know, I might lose my place if it's all in a giant thing like this. Maybe I'll do it page by page though. Okay, here we go. This is second story. This will be Robbie. The cop is named Robbie, and the person talking is TM2. So again, they're summarizing what they saw in the video, and these women did not pre-hand talk to each other. So if the accounts are similar, then this is probably true, right? This is probably accurate to the footage if they're similar. The parts that are similar are probably connected, right? Like they're probably the same. They're probably real. So I mean, I'm not saying trust just some random person, right? These random ladies, but if these line up, then here we go. Final thoughts. I was not able to stop or rewind, so these are very off-the-cuff moments. The footage was a bit overwhelming. The house is so huge and cluttered that it's very disorienting to watch. Also, the officer we follow must be in charge, and he is all over the place. He sticks in one room for a few minutes and shovels between them, so the footage is all over the place. However, we hardly see the kids at all. And all the officers act very kind and patient with the family. The footage was taken on 5/05/23/24, and it starts at 9:11 a.m. It starts in the police car as the officers approach the house. There's a dirty cat, house, tower, and filled trash bags on the patio. Officer sees kids inside the house through the window. It takes about 6 knocks from the police on the door yelling, "Search warrant!" before someone responds. One of Nick's daughters can be heard saying that Daddy told her not to answer the door. As soon as the door is open, it is a literal labyrinth of clothes and stuff. Hard to decipher where one room begins and another ends because every counter and table surface is covered in bottles, clothes, packages of food, and indicators of kids and their toys live there. There's not a lot of space to walk around the piles of stuff either. We find 2 females, April and Kyla, in the main bedroom. We have not seen them yet. The 6-year-old, stated by the officer, keeps saying something about her dad kept telling her not to let them in as the police begin to walk around the kitchen. The main room, kitchen, and dining room seem to be one big space, but again it's hard to tell with furniture cues since everything is so cluttered, covered. Kayla shows up with her arms up, a very dry voice. She seems lethargic and out of it. There's some kind of room they walk by, kids' room? It has a rainbow IKEA shelf in it, and is completely flooded with junk and clothing. The room is an actual hoarder-looking room. There are a few moments where the officer seems to be covering the camera with his hand. Hard to tell if it's on purpose or by accident. Literally just shit everywhere. And as they move about the house, just so many random piles of clothes. There is a stairway that is some kind of chair or love seat. It's the size of half of a couch. Just turned over, upside down at the bottom of the stairs. It clearly was done before the cops showed up. Not sure what that is all about. They have a big, fat, fluffy orange cat, though, and it's cute. Okay. 10 minutes in, and we still have not seen Nick on camera. You can tell it's a woman writing this, right? You can tell it's a woman writing this testimony here. Okay. The garage is very cluttered. Looks like they just moved in with all the boxes of stuff. Given it's the garage, though, it honestly looks like the most normal room in the house. Lots of filled packed but luggage bags, too. The officer goes back upstairs, And we get a quick close glimpse of one of the counters, and we can see food wrappers, bottles, a box of goldfish opened. At 9:23, we finally are outside, and when we see Nick meekly showing up in the driveway looking pissed, like he's about to cry, and arms folded. He has short cargo shorts on and that shitty Jamaican colored tank. Needs some water. The cop goes back in and starts getting supplies and gloves to start drug testing stuff in the main bedroom. A lot of this part of the video is just the cops gathering supplies and talking about their attack plan on the house. Because it's so large and has so much stuff. We are in the bedroom to test. There's a lamp on the nightstand that just has a random tube balancing on top of it. Very, very cluttered space with lots of shit. What's up, Valinda? Valinda, we're reading the Rekieta, we're reading some lady's description of the Rekieta body cam footage is what we're reading. I guess this came out a while ago, but I only noticed it like yesterday, and I was like, I want to read that. So this cop is searching has partially done the search, and they're just trying to get around the house at this point. I'm here with Rekieta. Mr. Sen covered him like a motherfucker, sure. Well, I only knew about him back in the day, and so I was always curious, like, I don't know how true, like, the claims were about what he was up to when the cops came in, and it's surprising. It's honestly kind of shocking. Let's see where it was. Right here, I think. It is important to note that the bedroom is right there in the main hallway of the house. You would easily walk by it every day if you lived there. I say that because of all the shit they had in their room. It would be very accessible, very easily accessible to the kids. As you walk by the outside of the room, you can look right under the bed and the nightstands. The cops keep saying that the two adult females were found in this bedroom together. Incredible amount of bottles and makeup products and clothes, booze bottles and water cups on windowsills. The cop decides to go downstairs for a sec and give a quick scan of the stream room. Read a closer, quick glimpse of the kitchen table, just covered in stuff and loose documents. We enter the stream room, and oddly, the ceiling doesn't seem finished. It just has these latex brand sheets covering it. We head back upstairs to the bedroom. We can see shoes, garbage, and lots of clutter at the top of the stairs. They seem pretty dangerous with all the junk around the stairs. At 9:31, we see him swab around the pillow and it tests positive for cocaine. Then we see him pick up a black vial, looks like a lipstick tube. When he unscrews it, we see white powder. The officer responds with, "Oh yeah?" Takes a picture of it. The officer says there is a measurable amount of cocaine in the bedroom. At 9:33 in the master bedroom, a measurable amount of cocaine. They also find a large stack of cash, according to them. An officer then states Nick is asking about probable cause. He wants to ask questions on probable cause. The main officer we are following calls Child Protective Services to the house. A senior officer who has been talking to Nick says that Nick feels he's been hurt. When calling family services at 9:37, the officer says, "We located a measurable amount of cocaine, and there are 4 children here." During this, we catch a glance at the main kitchen counter, and it is just completely covered in booze bottles, even over by the sink. It's a bit dark and confusing in the main part of the house, and without pausing or winding, I've had a hard time making specific objects out. At 9:39, we head outside to deal with April and Nick and finally cuff and arrest them. April is in a really slutty top. Okay, I'm glad women wrote this. I'm glad it was women that reported this now. I'm glad now. This girl, okay, this first girl didn't have as many, like she was trying to do her job like a reporter. This girl does not give a fuck, right? She said she called the cat cute, and now April is in a really slutty top. I do not try to call out fellow women for how they dress, but it really is inappropriate to wear around kids and a married couple regardless of any other factor. And it's a black crop top that has a collar, and it's cut in a way that shows her cleavage heavily, and her stomach is out. She has a huge piece of rock jewelry in her belly button as well. She looks and sounds so dry. Now again, so April, the reason she's calling it slutty and saying that is because April isn't the wife, right? Kayla is his wife. April is this other girl that's just staying there. And she's right? If a girl is staying at your house, and like you like, there's the husband and wife, and there's just some younger woman there. Her dressing really slutty is kind of like, it's not really good manners, right? It's pretty fucked up, honestly. That's not good manners. You know, they all are sleeping together. That seems true, yeah. That does seem true, yeah. That does definitely seem true. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. She looks and sounds so dry. Honestly, it does not even look or sound like her. She actually looks like a tranny. Just very dry and unhealthy. For sure out of it and on something. Honestly, might just be hungover. Her throat sounds like it's drowning in sand. I cannot express how just gross she seems and out of it. Now again, that was a quote, okay, YouTube? That was a quote. I'm reading a quote. Before I get in trouble for that. 942. She has read her rights and refuses to speak without a lawyer. We see her corporate easily with the officers, and she gets handcuffed and out in the car with ease. Cooperate? She wrote corporate. We see her corporate. I think she means cooperate. I think autocorrect screwed her. We see her cooperate easily with the officers, and she gets handcuffed and out in the car with ease. We see the other officer cuff Nick, and he's not fighting either. April asks for some shoes because she's barefoot. That makes sense, huh? They keep asking her what room she has been hanging out in. She mentions the main room and kind of avoids the question. It's funny, yeah. Kids seem decent considering living. Yeah, that is good, Belinda. I agree. I would like to see the actual footage though, but I agree with you. Anything good for the kids' sake is where, like, the seriousness of the situation is for me. You know, real talk. There's probably, well, yeah, probably, possibly, yeah. One of the women, yeah, very possibly. Okay, they keep asking her what room she's been hanging out in. She mentions the main room and kind of avoids the question. It seems obvious that she knew that her being in the bedroom with Kayla, where all the cocaine was, would get her in big trouble. Nick does look still very pissed, arms still crossed before he is cuffed. The officer is very kind and heads back in to get her shoes, which are just haphazardly placed at the top of the stairs. Now, this girl makes more typos than the other girl did. As the officer heads back in the house, the fat orange cat gets out, and the kids... Now, see, the first lady didn't mention the fat orange cat at all. I know she saw it. As the officer heads back in the house, the fat orange cat gets out, and the kids, who have been outside on the patio porch the whole time, say it can go outside. We can hear a kind officer ask the kids about their pets to calm them down. They seem to be actually okay, no crying, and in decent spirits. I think Kayla is with them until a woman from Child Protective Services comes. She is the one in the white and black striped shirt. 946. We are back in the main bedroom to keep testing stuff. The officer we are following seems to be the head honcho as he keeps moving in and out of every room, making the calls and shots throughout, so we are often just walking around, saying stuff. As he enters back into the bedroom, another officer mentions that they have found quite a bit of edibles in the room. They don't state what kind, but it can be assumed weed. If you did not know, they have edibles for shrooms, molly, and other mixtures that are actually easy and common to get. But also gummies just being accessible in the bedroom bothers me. Now that's funny, this girl is like, listen, I know you may be saying, hey, why am I saying edibles? But you know what? There's shroom edibles too, and I know about them, okay? All right? I know about drugs, all right? This lady wants us to know she knows about drugs, right? This lady that wrote this report, she wants us to know, the reader, she knows about drugs. She understands them. She knows about the different drugs. You know, she probably, I'm not saying she's taken any drugs, but she knows her stuff, right? She wants us to know she knows her stuff. Orange Cat W. Yeah, Orange Cat for sure. She called it cute earlier. At 9:47, the officer finally tests a black vial, and it's an instant blue swab. Cocaine, right? Cocaine, right there on the bedstand. You could see it from the hallway. He continues to shuffle through the stuff on the bedstand, but the angle makes it a bit difficult to see exactly what he's testing and touching on the stand. Then an officer tells him they found the rifle under the bed. It was a rifle. The main officer, the other lady just said big gun. The main officer heads out of the bedroom again, and we see a female officer taking care of Kayla, getting ready to be dressed and sent to jail with the others. We go back into the bedroom, and we see the rifle in its box on the bed. The box is literally just a cardboard box. And the gun is just sitting in it with styrofoam. Not locked up at all, and it's a huge rifle. At 9:50, we hear an officer say that they found 2 spent casings in the bedroom. Found snort tube on nightstand, test positive for cocaine. It's the first piece of evidence bagged. There's some open drinks and tubes on the bedstand. The black vial is bagged up as evidence. 2 credit cards in the name of April are found, and both the snort tube and the black vial were found right on top of the cards. At 9:54, we hear them say that someone named Celeste had their medication right on the bedstand, literally right next to the cocaine vial, snort tubes, and credit cards. The officer moves down to search around the floor, around the bed and stand, and we see that the bedstand has actually been the red fridge Nick has been bringing around the whole time. He opens it, and I can only make out some jars of jam on the door from the angle, so food was there for sure. Foods and meds on top of an easily accessible stand next to cocaine. There is a white stuffed animal and a hairbrush at the foot of the fridge right next to the bed, so it does seem like the kids come in here, given that there are a few toys around on the floor. There seems to be a small laptop also stuffed into the space between the bed and fridge, and the light looks like it's on. There's no comment on this by any officer. The rifle number is 20002638 and has multiple magazines with it in the bedroom, says one of the officers. At 10, we hear them say they found even more edibles in the bedroom. They confirm again the rifle was found under the bed. One officer pulls out a metal funnel, vial, object that is found with another glass vial with some kind of white powder in it. This is found in the shelf under the TV in the bedroom. They test the white powder and there's a faint blue on the swab, and the officer indicates that this means it could be a mixture. He bags it for evidence. 3. They find some weed pipes and test them for other drugs. An officer comments at 10:04 in frustration that there is just so much stuff in here. The main officer tells him to be mindful of needles, as he now believes it could be a possibility. They're just continuing to dig through all the shit on the floor. There's a big luggage case that he opens up, and it is completely packed with clothes and objects. This suitcase was already under a huge pile of clothes. He pushes off of it. Like pushing off clothes on a giant suitcase is the image we're getting right now. Crazy. Also, I never got the impression that the children were ever given stuff. They did say they found cocaine in their DNA. I forgot if they did or used as a reason. Yeah. That part I don't know about either. I'm curious about that. I mean, if they had, drugs in their blood. Now it does seem though that he was reckless enough. Like I don't think he gave his kids cocaine. I don't think so. But I think from the description, the way he had his house was reckless enough that it could have exposed them, yeah, right? Like, it's not unreasonable to assume maybe, like, from what we're hearing here, it's not unreasonable to assume that they could have come in contact with it still somehow. A little bit of it or something, right? Like, there's like, he just had like on the nightstand this snort tube or whatever he called it, just sitting there on his nightstand. A kid, and like the lady saying, on the floor in the bedroom was kids' toys, so they went in the bedroom. It could be very easy for them to have like just picked up the snort tube and, like, you know, snorted it themselves or something, like a little kid, right? If they ever saw their father do it, like, and the dad didn't know, right, snort tube thing, and then they see it sitting there, they definitely might try that, you know, like. I don't think, I doubt anybody would like actually give their kids drugs, but it does seem like it could have been, the kids could have been exposed to it unintentionally. Yes, yeah. Like, I like, from the description of the place, it seems pretty possible, man. It doesn't seem too ridiculous. At 10:06, the officer decides to split up the team. He's leaving the bedroom to the others as he wants to go down and test Nick's studio. One of the other officers calls it a little lair, LOL. They also find April's purse in the bedroom. We head downstairs to the studio at 10:08, and we also cross paths with the Child Protective Service woman. There's a very cluttered and full library room right before you enter the studio. There are 4 monitors, with the Joker painting tucked behind them out of sight, LOL. And they are still on, and it looks like he ended some stream. Very full, cluttered shelves that the officers dig through. They only keep finding random $5 bills throughout his junk. It looks like some of them might have been dollar origami, but some of them were just stuffed into cups or pen holders. The officer tests a few things he finds, but nothing suspicious besides tons of bottles and trash seems to be in here. One officer does find some baggie of weird stuff. They guess maybe cloves or pepper. The main officer thinks it might be a whiskey starter. Then an officer brings a big metal safe down at 10:12, and they said they found it in the bathroom. We can see a dirty Ziploc baggie poking out of it. The officer says he will deal with it in a bit, and they go back upstairs. At 10:16, we're just rummaging through the black shelves and testing random bits, but nothing is really down here. At 10:17, the officer with the safe returns and asks for help with it, and we go up to a small red bathroom on the main floor. I have to assume this is the main bathroom everyone uses when they don't need to shower, and the safe was found in here. The officer says it was under the sink, but the sink is one of those pillar sinks, so there is no bottom. I wonder if it was just tucked off to the side. What's up, Jimmy? We're reading, Good morning. We're reading notes about Nick Rekieta's body cam thing when the cops showed up. Pretty nuts, man. Pretty freaking nuts so far. Pretty freaking nuts. Well, in general, I think we're almost done, but man, it's been pretty nuts. The safe is opened up and contents are spread across the top of the toilet bowl. For testing and evidence collecting, we can see a scale, blue snort tubes, very dirty Ziplocs with cards and powders in them. At 10:19, he tests the cards and bag in one of the Ziplocs, and it tests positive for cocaine. Now we start bagging all the objects in the bathroom safe and calling them out as evidence. Evidence 8. Large corner cut. This is what they call the large bag with a huge amount of white substance in it. He will test it when they get back, he says. Evidence 9. Ziploc baggie containing multiple baggies. One baggie is powder and has KKK written on it. Evidence 10. Ziploc baggie containing multiple baggies with powder. Evidence 11. Digital scale. Evidence 12. Metal object? Funnel? The officers are unsure. Containing powder. Evidence 13. 2 snort tubes, plastic straws, 2 cutters. After packing up all the contents in the safe at 10:23, we head back downstairs to the studio to continue testing. He goes through some drawers, and they are just packed with objects and loose documents. At 10:25, We continue to search the library that is outside the studio room, and we then go back up the bathroom to double check for any evidence. We get a sight of a skeleton model that is just hanging out in the open space of the living room. We also see a dining room table, question mark, by the window, just completely covered in junk and food packages. At 10:26, we head into a bathroom with a hot tub. Oddly, even though there's a ton of stuff in here as well, the floor is pretty clear of junk, and it's the cleanest of the rooms. So many lotions and makeup products all over the counters, and of course more booze bottles empty and half full on the counter and windowsills. There are many windows in the entire house and have booze bottles on them. At 10:30, we are still digging through the hot tub room. They head into some kind of laundry room, and it barely has any visible floor, just piles of clothes and filled laundry baskets. There's a halfway window, and there are 2 bottles of booze, and right next to them on the same windowsill are little teddy figures. Little teddy bear figures. Sad. I cannot tell what kind of room we are in at 10:38, but it seems to be some kind of closet room or bedroom. It just has shelves and more clothes. There's a huge rack of so many adult clothes right in the middle. He digs through a random trinket box and finds another bullet inside that he takes as evidence. At 33:40, wait, what? 33:40, Louder with Crowder mug spotted. Lamau, it says in here. Louder with Crowder mug, it's all caps. This is written in all caps. Louder with Crowder mug spotted at 33:40. Lamau with 3 O's. That lady finds that hilarious. That lady finds that hilarious. Hot tub? Yeah, so one of the bathrooms has a hot tub, yeah. Yeah. At 10:36, yeah, Crowder's a total fake, for sure. Total fake. At 10:36, we find another safe. At least that's my impression, yes. At 10:36, we find another safe, and the officer searches for Kayla to get the code, so they don't have to bust it open, like he said. Then we head back into the garage, and right before it crashes on me, an officer says that they found 2 handguns hanging out in the garage. It ended at 10:37:27 for me. That's the end of that report. Okay. So those are both. So those are the notes I have there. So those are the notes I have there. And that was made public May 30th, apparently. It was made public May 30th. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Hey Sam. Kicking the trash can and honest music. What the hell did I walk in? We were reading the Rekieta. We read the Rekieta notes about the bust. Pretty interesting. We just finished. Just finished just now as you walked in. Okay, so yeah, I just finished it. Alright guys, thank you guys for hanging out. Speaking of, stream's gonna end now. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. Sorry if you guys are just tuning in. So you guys are just tuning in. I gotta get some stuff done. Could maybe watch a movie on Sims before I go to bed, but I don't know. If anybody wants to, let me know. I might just work on stuff until I get tired. I don't know. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. That was fun. That was enjoyable, I think. If you want to check it out, if you're just tuning in now, feel free to like rewind and watch from wherever when we started doing this. It was pretty interesting if you're interested in that. At some point we're gonna have the real footage, right? We'll watch that too. Yeah, thank you guys. Let me find. Let's watch it. I mean, let me play you out. Have a good day, guys. Don't have the right to sleep. Uh-huh. Thank you guys though, for hanging out for real. And thank all you guys that like the stream, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you guys, man. It's I don't know. Trying to think of something insightful or interesting to say, but I just want you guys to know I appreciate you. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody that watches the stream. Have a good day.
Akira.
You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. People get hurt by these people. I love them. Because I used to be a weak motherfucker too. You show me every day who you are. Well, they want to come on, some of them want to come on and offend me. But you gotta see what's up with Goggins. You gotta see what's up with him. Must see TV. So you gotta watch it. So that's amazing. I don't know who the fuck you are. Never will. Because you haven't done enough for me to take notice. But you know who the fuck I am. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. So that alone gives me a lot of power every day, but that's what people gotta understand. These haters, they know who you are, but you don't know them. There's a reason behind that. You've done something amazing. They've done nothing. They've done nothing. They've done nothing. Period. Which is probably why they fucking hate your ass. That's right. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you. You will never in life meet a hater